Russillo Show on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Will Cain, fresh from First Take, and Mike and Mike. A really busy day for you today. All 3 days right here on the Russillo Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. That means Wednesday, draft day, Christmas, whatever holiday you're celebrating. That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then Friday.
Draft is that. This is Easter, right? Like NFL draft is Christmas.
No.
NBA draft is Easter. It's a fact. That's a fact.
I'm trying to think, what is NFL draft? NFL draft is... I think it's Hanukkah because it's longer and no one's quite sure what the rules are from the outside. Right?
Okay, so here's a hot
like
sports
8
opinion.
days in a row? Like, I think there's a lot of parts I don't know. That's kind of like the 4th to 7th rounders.
I'm going to try to come out of the gates hot today. Okay, here you
Hold
go.
on. I feel like I need a sound effect.
Okay, possibly a Nazi. NFL draft is the biggest sporting event of the year.
Okay. Would you ever want to go to it?
Been to it.
Loser.
3 times.
Okay, now there's people listening going like, what do you mean? I went to the draft. Come on, you know who I'm talking about. You know you're the draft guy that went.
Yeah. By the way, not as a working event. Just went.
What was that like?
Not good.
Now, this makes me sound like a jerk. It makes me sound like elitist to think that, like, to go to the NFL draft and sit there. I just can't do it. I'm wrong for thinking it wouldn't be fun, I guess.
No, you're not.
Oh, because it wasn't?
No. It's awful.
Then why'd you go? Why'd you go 3 times? What was the second time?
The second time, I have a friend who works at the NFL. She was like, you want to go to the... She knew I was a big draft nerd, like it. So the first time was like, I'm going to the draft. This is cool, right? Radio City Music Hall. I'm going to go to the draft. Bailed pretty quick. Like, I don't know how many picks I made it in. It's a TV event. Clearly, it's a TV event.
I remember once saying before I was doing this for a living, I had a buddy, a guy that played college football. It's not even a name drop, so it's not even that impressive. But he and I were talking, I don't know, whatever, just talking sports. He's like, I love the NFL draft. I go, you know what'd be fun is like go into the city and sit and watch it. And he goes, no, it wouldn't be.
Mm-mm.
And I went, wow. Mine changed immediately. It was like he was Obi-Wan. I thought, wait a minute, you're right. Back then, especially, think how much longer it used to be. It was less of a TV event that still was on TV, and you were waiting around forever.
Here's what I did. This was the audible I called in the middle of the NFL draft. Was there with a buddy, sitting through these picks. You got a little, you get your little radio you put on, so you can. Oh, there's the NFL Network over there. There's ESPN over there. I can tune into which simulcast I want. Hear it through my little headphones. I can watch the stage because there's no real sound in the event. In Radio City Music Hall or the Javits Center or in Chicago, like inside the room, there's no MC. There's no event there's no sound until the guy comes out and says, with the 5th pick in the 2014.
Now it's different, though. Now it's a festival.
I didn't see, this year it looked amazing.
Philadelphia went off.
They did.
Lit.
So here's the audible. Buddy and I went out, said, let's get out of here. Went to a bar, had a little mock draft print sheet. Placed bets on who the next pick would be.
There you go. Now you're having fun.
Drank beers on who lost. Oh, that's a shot. That's a shot. It was a ball once we hit the bar and started putting wagers on the picks.
That makes sense. Okay, see, that's a fun way to do it. I just can't imagine sitting there. I've been in the Barclays Center the last bunch of years. I'm not going to be there this year. I'm not going to the draft, so that's the first time in a while. I'll be here with Van Pelt doing post-draft stuff right on SportsCenter, so that's kind of something I'm super pumped for. But the NBA one is quicker. It moves a little bit faster because you know what? The NFL, you didn't need 15 minutes for every single pick, and it took forever to get that done. Speaking of taking forever to get to the start of the show, it's time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contracts. Will Cain, as we've mentioned, you're friends with Dwight Howard or met him? Because Dwight Howard's been traded, and think about this backstory.
Hold on.
Will's
I want to answer your question.
Hold on. Just think how you want to answer that, because I just want to make sure everybody understands the story. Dwight Howard's traded to the Charlotte Hornets for essentially just pieces. And this is so Dwight Howard. He was running the NBA Twitter account. So it says, okay, fans, give me your thoughts. Trades or otherwise, remember to be nice. First question, Dwight, what do you think of the Paul George rumors? Where do you think he's going? Dwight Howard responds, He has so many great options, tough to call. So you're going to get that kind of content for the next hour. It's going to be sick. Then he gets traded literally 5 minutes after this thing starts. He goes dark because everybody's like, hey, you've been traded to the Hornets. Like, you hosted the NBA account, interacting with fans, talking about all the offseason stuff.
And you got traded.
Right. So your buddy Dwight, how is he doing?
So we were texting a little earlier, and he didn't go dark with me. That was nice.
That's good.
I
Still
met
blue, not green.
I met Dwight. You're right. I met Dwight.
You met him
2 weeks ago at the Hofbrau.
First time ever.
Yes, first time ever at the Hofbrau House in Cleveland.
He was part of First Take for the finals.
He was part of First Take. I wasn't on that segment. I was walking off as he was walking on, and he goes, yeah, I think I saw you on the show yesterday. And I'm like, every day, Dwight. Thanks. It's hard.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
There's a lot of jokes in there somewhere. It's hard. Honestly, I know this is going to be so like, oh, wow, really observant, really insightful here. It is so hard to explain how impressive he is physically. It is so hard to overstate Dwight Howard. I've met a lot of NBA guys now, as I'm sure you have as well, who've either walked into this studio or walked onto a live set somewhere for First Take or work at ESPN, Paul Pierce, Antonio Davis, you name it. Vince Carter. Dwight Howard is another level. Just as a physical human being, his height, his shoulder width, the narrowness of his waist. I think I gave him a little slap. You know, we did the high five, the pull in, that thing. You know,
yeah,
with the arm going around the back.
Did you nail it, or was it?
I'm getting better at it.
Good thing.
And when I went in, you're like, of course, when you do this with most guys, you're like at lat level. You know, you get a little pat on the lat. With Dwight, you're at like lower back level. Lucky.
Lower back, hot.
And you're like, his waist is so small.
So now that we have that down,
oh yeah,
you feel bad for him?
I do. I feel bad for Dwight. Okay, I feel bad for Dwight for two reasons. Number one, the NBA just moved on from Dwight Howard. There was a time when Dwight Howard was everything you wanted in a team. You had to have Dwight Howard. Everybody wanted Dwight Howard, from the Houston Rockets to the LA Lakers to the Dallas Mavericks. It was go all out for Dwight because he changed your prospects as a team. And two things happened to Dwight. Number one, the market moved on. He was like a buggy whip salesman when Henry Ford came out with the Model A? Model A? Model A?
Model T's the
Model
first
T?
one? No, maybe Model A would make sense if they went alphabetically. I don't know. I'm not a car historian.
But the market just moved on from Dwight. And all of a sudden, he became, if not obsolete, so much less valuable. That's one. Number two, the part that is his fault, the part that's on Dwight that's his doing, he just can't get out of his own way. And instead of being mad at him or mocking him, I do really feel bad for him. He doesn't, as Cerruti said in the pre-show meeting, he doesn't seem to know what he wants. He seems like a kid who doesn't know what he wants and then therefore never gets it.
I do think there's some immaturity with him because anybody that's ever had him in a locker room will tell you the exact same thing. So it's not hurtful. It's not even harmful at times. But all I needed to know about him is that when he went to the Lakers and he couldn't get out of there fast enough, which in a way, it's like if you're having this bad of a time, and the crazy thing is the Lakers still wanted to keep him. Houston still wanted to keep him, okay? And then they go, well, we can't really even do this anymore. Atlanta was like, we'll move on from Al Horford and bring you in for a year. And now it's the third stop that's going, you know, and I really don't like the way I'm being used. And that was after he was with Orlando, wanted out, tried to force his way out, gets Van Gundy out of there, then opts back in. And then once he opts back in, he then wants out again and then doesn't want to go to Brooklyn because he wants to go to L.A. He gets his way, goes to L.A. When Kobe looked at him after they weren't on the same team and said, I know you, that's all I needed to know about Dwight Howard. It confirmed absolutely everything. All my doubts about him as a teammate, as a competitor, and that the body and all the stuff in the beginning, you're absolutely right. I used to argue that Dwight would be a guy maybe you'd start your franchise with over anybody else in the NBA.
Right.
And he's just not that guy. And it is partly the league, but we already know what's going to happen in Charlotte. Like, what are you going to do? Dump it in the post to him 25 possessions and be unlike everybody else in the league?
Right.
You think it's going to work? No, he won't get enough touches, and he's going to be upset about it. And Charlotte fans are going to go, yay, we got Dwight Howard, sort of.
But are you mad at Dwight for it? Does it make you dislike Dwight? Do you hate Dwight for all of this?
I could probably get over the Orlando thing. It's probably up to me to move on from it.
Yeah.
But it has been every other stop.
Yes. And I guess where I come down on this in the end is, you know, the market moved on from him, the league moved on from him, but that doesn't negate the fact that much of this is on him. And then what do you do with that? It's on him because Dwight's his own worst enemy. It's, as you said, how about this, Ryan? There's an innocence to Dwight's
That's
problems.
fine. Yeah.
He's not a malcontent who seems like he's out there to sabotage anybody except Stan Van Gundy. He's simply sabotaging himself time after time. That's Dwight Howard's biggest enemy is Dwight Howard. And I feel bad for him that's kind of how he's ended up.
And I don't know that there's ever going to be something where we're doing a segment here a year from now, 2 years from now, where you go, the redemption of Dwight Howard. Like, it just feels like when it's over, you're going to go, he might even still make the Hall of Fame, and he's going to be in the second half of his career where you go, eh. All right, coming up next, Straight Talk Wireless, nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks. We talked a lot about David Griffin and Dan Gilbert and the negotiation there, and it was very anti-Gilbert yesterday. I'm not sure that it's going to be pro-Gilbert now, but I think there's more information that we definitely, a day later and last night working with some people and talking, like there's a very specific reason.
You got some information last night.
Yeah, I did.
And it's changing how you feel as compared to yesterday.
It's making me understand Gilbert's position without siding with him.
Right.
Does that make sense? All right, we'll make sense of all this. That's coming up next here at the Russillo Show. It's ESPN Radio with Will Cain. Hi, everyone. Ryen Russillo here. Support for the Ryen Russillo Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all of the details and be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Russillo. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, and MLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030. Two-time Masters champion Bubba Watson will join the show in just about 10-plus minutes. We may start off with an Orlando Magic question about Dwight Howard. He has not been traded back to the Magic. He's still on the Hornets after last night being traded from the Hawks. You think it's a good place to start?
I want you to do it. Doesn't matter if I think it's good or not. I want you to do it.
Well, I'm gonna. He's in town. Probably see him out in Hartford this weekend.
What do you think? How do you think Bubba rolls with the first question out of the gate being Orlando Magic question? Is he A, happy?
Ecstatic. I don't need the other options.
Done. Multiple choice not needed.
Wait a minute. Whenever you ask these guys about the stuff that they're not asked about, like if he comes out, you go, hey, man, Tiger, trying to put it together. What do you think? Like, it's immediate shutdown. Like, I've just lost Bubba Watson for 7 or 8 minutes. If I come out going, what do you think? You move on from Alfred and get a Dennis Smith? Lights up.
You think so?
Lights up. Yeah.
Don't you think there are
Jock
some
Vaughn.
of those guys?
Why'd it go wrong? Lights
Jock
up.
Vaughn, yeah. Don't you think the athlete, certainly there are some guys out there like, why aren't you asking about me? Don't you think some athletes?
But I think when you're only asked about you or Tiger as a golfer, all right, let's figure it out. We'll ask him. Would he rather answer questions about his... Although Bubba also can't go, you know what, guys? I'd rather answer questions about me.
Let's talk about the Travelers.
Will Cain, The Russillo Show, ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance. More independent agents sell Progressive Insurance than any other brand. Find an agent at Progressive.com. Now that's Progressive. Yesterday, it was an anti-Dan Gilbert fest, the owner of the Cavs, okay? Because David Griffin, you're going, wait a minute, how does the GM get fired or they can't work out a contract? Because people love doing that. Well, technically, he walked away from us. You're like, look, if you wanted him, he'd still be here. 2 days before the draft, 3 days before the draft, the guy's sitting there working on trades, and now he's out. So, I didn't get it. I didn't really get it. Talking to some people close to the situation, it sounds like David Griffin asked for a lot of money. And he's entitled to ask for all he wants. Now, Phil Jackson, you can't compare anyone to that. $12 million a year for that. I think Pop is like way up there too, but he kind of, I don't know, deserves it. And I'm not saying that Griffin, who was extremely underpaid, didn't deserve a significant raise. So there's a way I'm going to frame this where I'm going to tell you kind of ballpark numbers that I had heard last night and ask you a simple question if you're Dan Gilbert. So, Will, you're Dan Gilbert, powerful NBA owner. Actually, kind of a fitting role for you because I could see that. All right?
Thank you.
Your way,
I like that, actually.
The only way,
yes.
Difficult, impulsive, all of these
I'm
things.
Feeling
you're
this
perfect. You don't have to pretend.
No, I don't.
So I'm David Griffin. I go, hey, I want like $6-7 million a year.
What's it? What'd you say?
I would like $6 or $7 million a year.
You,
I would,
Dave.
Yes. Yeah, like
you
look,
want me to pay you?
I'm one of the most underpaid guys in the NBA. I deal with problems that other people don't deal with. Nobody thinks I'm even doing the job. Everybody thinks it's Team LeBron and all this different stuff. I would like not double. I would like to triple because I've been underpaid for this whole time. Reparations. I want to be paid as high as any of the other executives other than a guy like Phil or maybe a Doc or maybe even a Pop.
All right, Dave. Let's just entertain this offer for 1 second, this request.
My friends call me Griff.
You want to be... That's why I'm calling you Dave.
This owner thing is very fitting.
I know. You want to be the highest paid GM, among the highest paid GMs in the NBA who are not also coaching on a team. We'll set Phil aside. Setting Phil aside, setting Doc aside, setting Pop aside. You want to be one of the highest paid GMs in the league. And your argument to me on why I should give you $7 million a year is because you deal with problems that no other GM has to deal with? What are those problems, Dave?
I have to answer to you as an owner, but I also have to massage the relationship between you and the number one player in the world because you set off a Merlot-induced flamethrower of a letter where you guaranteed that the Cavs would have a championship before he did, and then he actually came back, and we've been to the finals 3 straight years. All right, so I work on that that's a daily routine for me.
Okay, so you want me to pay you $7 million because I'm a problem for you?
When you put it that way, I just need you to understand.
Number two, hold on, before we break character here, as while we're at this, Dave, you want to be the highest paid GM in the league who's not also coaching except for Phil.
It's not the highest
Jackson.
Paid, sir.
No, just thank you for that.
With all respect.
I like that. Because also you're not getting the credit you deserve in being the GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Everyone assumes LeBron is actually the GM and myself. Between me and LeBron, we got it covered.
Yeah.
And you're not getting the credit you deserve.
Yeah. Did you see my letter when we were down 3-1 last year? Did you read about that at McMenamin and Windhorse's book?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't write that letter. And your letter was worse.
You don't think LeBron and I are doing most of the work here?
Everybody else is getting paid. Tyler's getting paid.
That was such a parachute answer, by the way. It's in your face, it's in your eyes. You're like, ah.
What I'm trying to do is we've done this role play here. Is if Gilbert goes, well, we're probably going to, this is what you needed to do. This is what I should have played the owner. Because I think
I got it.
I think you did really well. But there was one sentence you could have just ended it all.
Okay, I know what it is. No.
That's a quicker one. But there's another sentence that has a little bit more depth to it where it goes, I like you, Dave. Did a good job here. We're going to win 50-plus games next year no matter who the GM is. And I know you put a ton of work into this. And I know the just toll this takes on you. But I love the Pistons. And I can get Chauncey Billups probably for less money than that. And maybe I bring Zanuck in here too. And now we're good to go. And look, who am I kidding? We're still winning 50-plus games probably in the NBA Finals. So I don't need to pay you a premium. And if Gilbert feels that way and it's not all the other different things, I'd kind of get his point, even if I disagree with him. And yesterday when I did the show, I didn't quite have the numbers locked down, and I feel pretty confident about it today. That it's that, like, it was a big ask, and I don't know if Griff is, and I don't know any of this part of it, where Griff may have just been like, hey, for me to stay here and keep doing this, and the stuff I deal with, I need to be paid this much. And if I'm not, fine, because he'll get another job in a year. Yeah,
I actually think...
There's more to it, too.
But I think both parties are right in this scenario, and both parties are going to get what they want.
Whoa.
It's the end result was met the way it needed to be. Look, it's easy to kick owners. It's easy to come down on owners. Nobody likes Dan Gilbert. Nobody likes James Dolan. It's easy to ignore them as bumbling idiots that somehow ended up with hundreds of millions and sometimes billions of dollars. Although that's really hard to believe. That's what we sell ourselves on. And the world doesn't work by deserve. Griff, now that we're back to being friends, Griff might actually deserve that money. He might be one of the best GMs in the league. But Gilbert doesn't need him. Just as you said, he doesn't need to pay him that. The world doesn't work by deserve. The world works by need. By the way, also,
Windhorse McMenamin saying Chauncey Billups scheduled to have a second meeting with the Cavs today. All right, so we'll get back to that story a little bit later. Russillo Show reminding you can listen to all 3 hours of the show on your phone, on your ESPN app, or Apple Podcasts. Will Cain, with Will Cain. All right, Bubba Watson, how many NBA questions can we get, and will he like them? We'll do that next with the 2-time Masters champ. It's ESPN Radio.
And now, insurance-minded speeches from Geico.
Let's talk about power. To illustrate this, allow me to tell you a story about how I moved a tow truck 25 miles using only my index finger. I was stranded with a flat tire. I opened the Geico app, Then, with a few taps of my finger, I beckoned emergency roadside assistance and a tow truck to my car. I invite you all to unleash the full potential of your fingertips with the Geico app. Thank you.
So much hoops to get to here with Will Cain, the Russillo Show on ESPN Radio over the next couple days, doing the draft tomorrow as well, post-draft stuff with Van Pelt on SportsCenter for me. But let's take a little break, talk a little hoops, maybe even a little golf. I'm just kidding. It's Bubba Watson who joins us now on behalf of the 2017 Travelers Championship, two-time Masters champion, won this tournament as well. It's a tournament we've all spent some time at. We wanted to ask you, Bubba, as a guy that's been to a lot of Magic games, do you still have a take on a Dwight Howard trade? Just out of the chute, do something a little different?
The Dwight Howard trade, I wish he was still the Magic. He was such a good player. Everybody loved him there. Sad to see him move around a lot, but he's still valuable, still a big man, great player.
Bet you can get him for pretty cheap right now, Bubba. I mean, that wish could come true pretty easily. Ryan and I bet. Ryan and I had a side bet, Bubba, going into this. Would you rather answer questions about the NBA, or would you rather get straight to the golf? You want to talk about all your sideline passes, all your sideline seats at the finals?
I'd rather talk about NBA.
All right, so
NBA is where it's at. That's what I'd want to talk about.
Yeah, because we were trying to figure that out. We're like, he might, like, if we came out of the shoot and we're like, hey man, Tiger, thoughts? First question, you'd probably look at us and be like, oh man, can we talk about LeBron's legacy instead?
Right.
All right. So this is off to a good start. We got Bubba Watson with us here. This tournament, you've won it before. Is it pretty much a known when you win a tournament? It doesn't matter where it is. You're always going to want to come back and play just because you don't want to end up getting away from the place you felt that feeling before.
No, that's not true. Not for me anyway. I've missed places that I've won at before. Travelers does such a good job. They get the community involved. Cromwell, Hartford, they all come together. The volunteers here, the fans here, they love their golf. And you can tell by the field this week. This is the best field I've ever seen here. Travelers keeps bringing it every year, making it better and better.
This past weekend with the U.S. Open, a lot of people were concerned because of the conditions that, look, this thing is going to be brutal, and then it ends up not going that way. Some of the shots that you guys, it's just insane, some of the things that guys are pulling off. Where is golf right now with the field, the talent at the top, and the technology, and these courses that look to be kind of getting overrun?
The golf tournament was a weird golf tournament. Normally they're expecting wind there, and there was no wind. On Saturday, you could see that Saturday was the least wind of the whole week, and that's where everybody lit it up. But I think the game of golf, it's like every sport. We're now, Tiger has taught us how to train, how to prepare, how to get clubs that fit certain golf courses and certain shots. And so everybody's taken that knowledge from Tiger and improving on it, and now we're getting better at the sport. And the younger guys are coming up quicker, faster, mentally prepared for it, and that's what they're proving right now.
As Ryan said, Bubba, your first tour win was here at the Travelers in 2010. So tell me the biggest difference. 7 years ago, you show up. What is it? You got probably rolling an entourage of 2 or 3. Now, what? 20 guys with you? What's the biggest difference between you 7 years ago with that first tour win and today?
Biggest difference is I'm more mature. I understand what it means to be a professional golfer. I understand what it means to be a professional golfer off the course. And the platform we have, being a Masters champion, being a Travelers champion, we get a platform, and we need to use it in the right direction. And so the charity dollars, the charity functions, the beauty of what Travelers and Jay Fishman created here, and last year what Jay did before he passed away with Travelers, and the charity dollars they were able to raise for that one dinner they had here last year. It's pretty special. And now as a mature person, I see what golf's all about, and the charity dollars we can help impact the city.
Bubba, this week we learned about Bones and Phil breaking up as caddy golfer, and that deal, has been going on forever. What is it about that relationship with a caddy that maybe those of us from the outside don't understand? How close you have to be? Do you not need to be close? Can you explain that a little bit more for us?
Yeah, I think it's all in the person. For me, I want to be close with that caddy, and so me and Ted Scott have been working together for 11 years now. we're good friends. When there's something going on in my life, I call him and ask for his opinion, ask how to help. When there's something going on in his life, he can call me. Our families spend time together. We vacation together. He travels with me a lot. When I rent houses, he always stays with me. So we're with each other just as much as me and my wife. And so it better be somebody you're comfortable with and you want to spend time with. And for me, Ted Scott, 1994 world foosball champion. How would you not want to learn from another professional? You know?
Really?
Didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah, 1994 world foosball champion.
Today, I don't know. I feel like I want to follow that up.
Stumped you, hey. Yeah, I stumped you there. You got nothing.
Well, I want to follow it up. I just don't know what to ask.
No
like, what's
spinners,
the field
obviously.
like?
Yeah.
How big is the competition? I want to know more about that.
Imagine running into that guy in a bar, and then the next thing you know, he's just like he has the deed to your establishment.
It's like a sandbagger in golf. You know, you can take him to a bar and nobody know who he was.
I kind of want to meet him now.
Okay, is he standing to the side? Can you put him on camera with you?
No, he's not. He's not here. He's practicing at home.
Bubba, today's the Pro-Am. What's the best round of celebrity Pro-Am golf you've played? Who are you hoping for when you get your assignment? When do you get your fist pump in?
You know, in 2010, we'll just put some history on you. 2010, I played with Chris Daly, the assistant women's coach at UConn. A legend in her own right, you know, what she's created at UConn and helped create at UConn women's basketball. And we played together. And then 4 days later, I win my first tournament on the PGA Tour, the Travelers Championship. And so I just saw her before I came out here. She just teed off. Met her and Rebecca Lobo and Ray Allen. So getting to see basketball. I love basketball. And my wife played professional basketball. So coming up here, I get to talk women's basketball and talk to UConn and see UConn. It's pretty special.
We definitely could have done a better job asking more specific basketball questions at the beginning of this, Bubba. That's on us and not you. So we apologize, man, and have a great weekend, all right?
All right, thank you very much.
There you go, Bubba Watson on behalf of the Travelers. Again, that's in Connecticut. Location, first career win for him. That at the beginning was awful on our part.
Do you think Bubba was prepared, though? Had you gone specific and you said, all right, Orlando Magic at 6, Jonathan Isaac, Dennis Smith Jr., you think he had that answer ready to go?
I don't think that's fair to do that to Bubba Watson, to go, do you think Dennis Smith or Jonathan Isaac? Because you don't know. You don't know what level. I mean, he's a pro golfer. The delay was an issue in the beginning. The beginning of that was a train wreck.
You're being a little hard on yourself and us and me in particular.
Not
busy,
proud. Probably not as busy or as importantly as busy. Yeah, that was worse yesterday.
That was yesterday? That was recent? That was yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Dave Yeager got in my head. I played that course. A bunch of dudes. One guy in particular played in college. Borderline 3 scratch golfers. Wanted to play with your guy. And I was like, I don't really play that much anymore. And when I did play, like at my best, I was maybe bogey golf kind of guy. And I don't know if you want to play with me. And they go, come on. Come out. We're talking it up. Oh, you should join. You should play with us more often. This can be a routine. Tee it up at that course. Smash it into the condos on the right side of the fairway.
Nice.
Right. And it got so bad as they were just firing darts at every pin. Scratch golfers. Playing with me, who hadn't played in a while, told them I wasn't good. Had my sick old school like 99 King Cobras. And it was the worst time I've ever. They were like, "What are you laying?" And I think I said 170, and then I was like, "No, I meant 3."
That condo shot, like, what did that do to your head right off the tee?
I was toast. I was so bad when he asked me what I was laying. I told him the distance and not how many strokes I was at.
Right.
And the thing is by the end of the round, the guys were so bummed out playing with me because I was getting even worse. And then at the end, it was almost like it was almost as if I showed up to somebody's wedding and then like got blacked out and was arrested at it. Like that's how I felt the vibe after we get done with the golf round, because they just looked at me and they were like, all right, man, yeah, see you later. It was almost like, hey, I know I'm never going to play with you guys again. You don't have to fake ask me. Like, I'll never play with, and this is why I didn't want to in the beginning.
And I'm not going to accept an invitation if you do.
Right.
So let's just end this relationship.
I'm not good at it. Great course, though. Check it out. All right, coming up next, a tweet that all of you out there alerted me to this morning because you knew I would be upset. With Will Cain, Russillo Show, ESPN Radio. You guys love that Bubba Watson interview. That's great. You can check it out. Subscribe to the Russillo Show podcast. Will Cain. Nothing makes a summer, birthday, or anniversary more magical than 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, when you order a dozen multicolored roses for only $29.99, you get another dozen absolutely free. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com/ESPN. We did learn that his caddy's sick at foosball, 94. That'd be tough if you were like, what? Wait a minute, you want a foosball world championship? Like,
I know a guy. Just hear me out on this, okay?
Well, listening intently, so go.
Who wore a world champion size, Super Bowl ring for, and this is the part where my story kind of fizzles, but I just can't remember the sport, but it was like shuffleboard
or like bubble hockey.
It was above bubble hockey, but in that shuffleboard range. And he had his own ring made, but he was world champion.
He made his own?
Oh, he made his own. But he claimed world championship status, and he promoted, and he had created a league on, what was it? What's that game that they play in New York City in the park? It's where they toss the ball, and you're supposed to hit the other balls.
Handball?
Not bocce.
Bocce?
Not bocce, but it starts with a P.
Lawn darts.
It's an Italian game.
Bocce?
Petanque?
I think you're thinking of bocce.
It's, okay. See, this is just where I'm more sophisticated than you folks, but I live in New York City, don't worry. It's petanque, I think. I think it's Italian bocce.
That sounds cultural.
I think it's Italian bocce.
Okay.
Don't fact check me.
Who started? Where did bocce start?
That sounds Italian too.
That's kind of what I'm wondering.
Aren't you Italian? Why aren't you figuring this out for us?
Northern Italian.
It's French, first off.
Bocce?
See? Okay.
No, bocce is not French.
That's what I was.
Petanque, whatever it's called.
I had it right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you nailed it.
Petanque.
Great.
Is bocce Italian? Can you double check that for us?
When's the story over? I've got a Steph Curry take here, and I only got 3 minutes now.
Really?
I don't even know if this is doing enough to Steph Curry.
I actually think you can do this. Start the clock. Go.
Will Cain, Russillo Show. So last night, McMenamin started talking about franchise-changing guys, right? Because Dwight Howard got traded. And the thought was, remember when Dwight Howard was one of those guys? Changes who you are as a franchise. I argue there's 5, maybe 6. That could even be nice. Dave McMenamin covers the Cavs. Great guy. Says 8 bet the house franchise-changing solo talents in the league. LeBron, Kawhi, Harden, Russ, Giannis, Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns, and Durant. People freaked. I tweeted this. I said, I have been alerted to this. Harden ahead of Steph. He's great, meaning Harden, but he's a really skilled quarterback playing in a Mike Leach system. To leave Steph off of this is, you should be fined. There's a way that we should all, no offense to Dave McMenamin, you know I love you, just talked to you the other day, but we should be able to just fine you $25 as a symbol of what that tweet was.
He should come on and defend himself. I mean, I think that...
Don't want him on. Passed.
Oh.
Ban 24 hours.
You got to let him defend himself.
Maybe tomorrow. I'll be okay about it.
He's on suspension?
Why is this still happening?
To Steph?
What do you think the response is? Do you think 50% of people are going, what are you talking about? Great take. Accurate. Or do you think some people are going, here's the thing. You want to tell me it's LeBron? You want to tell me it's KD? You want to tell me Kawhi? You want to tell me Anthony Davis? You know, I'll even take those. Karl Anthony Towns feels a little early, but are you kidding me? Are you kidding me that you would put Harden ahead of Curry? That's the one that bothers me the most.
So you're saying if he had cut his list off at 3 or 4 and left Steph off, no big deal.
I don't think I'd agree with it, but I wouldn't have 3 minutes on it. Then Tom Haberstroh, love him, Westport in the house. What's up? Steph Curry on court last season via NBA stat website. Overall, without Kevin Durant, the Warriors, so Steph on the floor, no Durant, plus 16 points. Without Durant and Draymond on the floor, Curry out there, plus 14 points. And I know what you're saying. Yeah, but what about Klay Thompson? No Durant, no Draymond, no Klay Thompson. The Golden State Warriors, plus 13. When are people going to figure out that Steph Curry is really good?
Maybe one more MVP? One more?
He's never going to win another one. Not after what happened in the 3-1 lead.
Maybe 74 wins in the regular season?
Undefeated. Has to hit every clutch gene shot over 82 games. And
okay,
LeBron has to let him stay at his guest house after he beats him 4 games in the finals and doesn't ask him to get a cleaning service.
This is like that scene in Braveheart. The negotiation scene. Here are our terms.
Territories. Not until the Cavaliers logo is Steph's head. Then people will respect him.
What do you think it's about his height in the end? He's got to grow 3-4 inches. Then he can have the accolades.
That stat everyone should be repeating that to strangers in the street.
Yeah.
The NBA offseason is better than your season. Next.